But guys, once again, just look at what these verses say. Look at this. How Muslims, how are you not embarrassed that a guy many of you regard as your chief apologist would give this as his response when he's given an opportunity to present his best case for Muhammad? He goes, Deuteronomy 18, according to which Muhammad's a false prophet, and Deuteronomy 29:12, Isaiah 29:12, according to which Muhammad is a stubborn rebel against God. And where are you getting profit out of this, right? So guys, let me just give you the Muslim argument here, right? So look at verse 12. And when they give the book to one who cannot read, saying, read this, he says, I cannot read. Oh, did you catch that? They're going to give the book to one who cannot read, saying, read this. He says, I cannot read. Oh my goodness. The angel Gabriel showed up to give Muhammad the book and told Muhammad to read. And Muhammad said, I can't read. You see that? This is a prophecy, a fulfilled prophecy, because Isaiah 29:12 is saying that there's going to be a prophet, and this prophet is going to say, I can't read when he's given a book. He's going to say, I can't read. So this is miraculous proof that Muhammad's a true prophet. Guys, my goodness, Muslims. This is perfect illustration of the 99-1 rule. For real, Zakir Naik's audience, it's more like the 100 rule. He knows that 0 of his followers will ever look up what he's saying. If they did, they should be ashamed. They should be saying, how can we listen to this absolute horrible deceiver to believe what this guy says? Every passage he tells us to go to tells us that Muhammad's a false prophet or that he should be put to death. And this is your main guy. Guys, we don't want to read the entire passage. Again, I have a video going through this, but let's just go up. You can get a general idea of what's going on. So you have at the beginning here, 29:1, Ariel, the city where David encamped, add year to year, let the feast run their round, yet I will distress Ariel, and there shall be moaning and lamentation, and she shall be to me like an Ariel, which means sort of like a place where you burn things, and you got the ashes and so on. And I will encamp against you all around, and will besiege you with towers, and I will raise siege works against you, and you will be brought low. From the earth you shall speak, and from the dust your speech will be bowed down. Your voice shall come up from the ground like the voice of a ghost, and from the dust your speech shall whisper. God is talking about judging Jerusalem. He's talking about the judgment to come, right? So you have the northern tribes, and then you have Judea. God's talking about the judgment that's coming, right? So he gives this revelation through Isaiah, saying that they're going to be judged, right? And you get down to verse 11. And the vision of all this what? All this judgment that I'm talking about is coming upon you, to you, the Jews. And this vision of all this has become to you like the words of a book. There you have it, book. What book? What book is delivered to a person? And this vision of all this has become to you like the words of a book that is sealed. When men give it to one who can read, saying, read this, he says, I cannot, for it is sealed. And when they give the book to one who cannot read, saying, read this, he says, I cannot read. In context, what is it saying? Talking about the stubbornness of the people when their prophets come to them, warning them about judgment, and they make excuses for why they're rejecting the revelation. They're making excuses for stubbornly rejecting the revelation. Now, pay attention to verses 11 and 12 again. And the vision of all this, what? He just talked about it. The vision of what's about to happen to them. The vision of all this has become to you like the words of a book that is sealed. The book is sealed. So it's like a book, and you're delivering it to someone. When men give it to one who can read, saying, read this, he says, I cannot, for it is sealed. In other words, he makes an excuse. Hey, this book is sealed up. I can't read it. So he makes an excuse for why he rejects it, why he rejects the book. And when they give the book to one who cannot read, verse 12, saying, read this, he says, I cannot read. Who is this talking about? Is this talking about a prophet? No, the prophet is the one giving the revelation, and the people are the one making excuses for why they reject the revelation given by the prophet. So if this is Muhammad, as Zakir Naik claims, Zakir Naik says this is Muhammad right here. He's the one talked about. Well, notice in verse 12, this is not talking about a prophet refusing to read. This is not talking about a prophet making excuses. This is talking about a man who rejects the words of the prophets that are revealed to him, who stubbornly makes excuses for rejecting the prophecies that are revealed to him. So if Zakir Naik wants to say, this is talking about Muhammad, great. Muhammad's not a prophet. He's someone who's in rebellion against the prophets. The prophets have revealed revelations, and Muhammad stubbornly makes excuses because of his illiteracy. He counts this as an excuse for rejecting the true revelations of God. This is Zakir Naik telling you that Muhammad was a stubborn rebel against God, making excuses for why he rejected God's true revelations. I say amen. Amen to this. All right, Sam, what do you think?
Just let me add the icing on the cake, because we've already done this. We belabored the point, but
Yep.
for the sake of people, remember this, Christians. Even if you don't remember the context is not a prophecy of prophets to come. Keep this in mind. Would a prophet in the Old Testament prophesy the coming of someone who'd contradict their theology? So keep that in mind. If Muhammad is this prophet that Isaiah supposedly announced would come, and it's not, as David showed you, he cannot contradict the theology of Isaiah. So if you're quoting Isaiah, then you're going to have to be stuck with Isaiah. Muhammad says his God is not a father to his people, spiritually or metaphorically. But in Isaiah 63:16, folks, remember this. The God of Isaiah is a spiritual father to his people, and he spiritually begets them, and he preserves them and sustains them as a father does to his children. Here, Isaiah 63:16. For you are our father, though Abraham does not know us, and Israel does not acknowledge us. You, O Lord, are our father. Our Redeemer from of old is your name. Isaiah 64, verse 8. Isaiah 64, verse 8. But now, O Lord, you are our son. We are the clay, and you are our potter. We are all the work of your hands. So number one, Isaiah's God is a spiritual father to his people. He spiritually begets them, not physically, not sexually, and he provides for them, sustains them, and protects them as a father does for his children. So that's number one. Number two, Isaiah 9, verses 6 to 7. In the Quran, chapter 112, verse 3, remember this, chapter 112, verse 3, Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Allah neither begets nor is begotten. Even though in the context of the Quran, it is condemning the pagan understanding that Allah sires children sexually, or he's like one of the gods who is produced by a god and a goddess. And we condemn that as well. We condemn that as well. That's false teaching. But still, with that said, some Muslims like to misapply it to deny the eternal generation of the Son. Isaiah 9, verses 6 to 7. Christians, please, this is now archived. Make sure you listen to this, because I want you to learn these arguments, and this will end the misappeal to Isaiah. Isaiah 9, verses 6 to 7. For to us a child is born. Ask anyone who reads Hebrew. The phrase, for to us a child is born, is Yeled Yuled. That's the Hebrew cognate of 112.3. Lam Yeled wa lam Yuled. Weled and Yeled, the Hebrew Arabic cognates. So here it says, child born. Yeled, child. Yuled, born. To us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called, notice the name of the child who is born, a human baby, a human child is going to grow up to be a human man, a male figure, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, El Gibor. El God, Gibor. The Arabic equivalent would be Allah El-Jabbar, or Ilah El-Jabbar, names of Allah, and that cannot be given to a creature. So a child is born who's El Gibor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And who's the child? Of the increase of his government and of his peace, there'll be no end. And on the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and uphold it with justice and with righteousness from this time forth and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this. So a child is born to sit on David's throne forever. That's why even Jewish tradition, rabbinic tradition, though some try to say it's Hezekiah, can't be Hezekiah. Rabbinic tradition says this is Messiah, Mashiach. Child born to sit on David's throne forever, whose name is El Gibor, the mighty God. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 21, folks. One of the names of Jehovah, the Lord, is Mighty God. His name is Mighty God. So now, Muslims, how can Muhammad be a prophet announced by Isaiah when Isaiah says the mighty God of Israel will be born as a child, the mighty God himself, and that God is a father to his people, all of which Muhammad contradicts. Muhammad is condemned by Isaiah, not prophesied by Isaiah. So much for Isaiah.